We didn't like the name Hitlerjugend because it made us seem like boys. We wanted to be real soldiers. The youngest didn't receive cigarettes. They didn't smoke. Instead, they were given sweets. This is a quote from the young soldiers of the 12th SS Panzer Division captured during the Battle of the Bulge. It shows the desire to mature quickly amid the war. They rejected the name Hitlerjugend as it seemed childish and sought to be recognized as true soldiers. While the older ones received cigarettes, the younger ones were given sweets, highlighting the different expectations and pressures faced by the younger soldiers during the conflict. During World War II, Coca-Cola distributed more than 5 billion bottles to soldiers, providing a familiar comfort and a taste of home amid the conflict. This initiative not only boosted the popularity of the drink, but also played a significant role in troop morale, offering a brief moment of relief during difficult times. The image shows Faris Tuohy, a veteran of World War II, on the left, holding a cup of coffee. The photo was taken in 1944 after one of the many intense battles he faced. His expression suggests the weariness and exhaustion after the combats, but also the resilience and determination to move forward. These historical photos connect us with the experiences and sacrifices of those who fought during the conflict. The photograph of Tuohy offers us a daily reality of soldiers during World War II. This is a story of luck and survival from World War II. We have the account of a U.S. Marine who, during the Battle of Okinawa in 1945, had his life saved in an incredible way. This U.S. Marine fastened a lucky horseshoe to his helmet. Surprisingly, the horseshoe blocked a Japanese bullet, saving his life. In the photo, he holds an M1928 Thompson, a weapon used by the Marines in the war. This story highlights the belief in lucky charms amid the danger of battle. This touching photo captures a tired and exhausted Marine crying among the rubble after the intense battle for Hill 200 near Peleliu Airport in August 1944. The expression of pain and despair reveals the emotional and physical weight faced by soldiers during the brutal confrontations of World War II. This image is a powerful reminder that, behind the casualty statistics and reports of victories and defeats, there are individual stories of suffering, courage, and, sometimes, despair. Photo of veterans of World War II and the Korean War on November 11, 1951, on Armistice Day, gathering at a national cemetery in the USA to pay tribute to fallen soldiers, symbolizing respect for the sacrifices of war and highlighting the importance of peace and recognizing the horrors of the conflict. This day marks the anniversary of the armistice that ended World War I in 1918. Over the years, this date has transformed into an occasion to honor all military personnel who served in subsequent conflicts. This photo shows Willie, the loyal white bull terrier of George S. Patton, lying next to the general's belongings a few days after his death in December 1945. Patton, a famous commander of the 3rd U.S. Army during World War II, was known for his love for Willie, who followed him everywhere. Patton is especially known for his crucial role in commanding the 3rd U.S. Army, which played a key role in the campaigns in Normandy, the Battle of the Bulge, and the invasion of Germany. The unauthorized photo of Stalin in 1941, reacting to the news that Kiev, an important Soviet city, was about to be taken by the German army during World War II. This image reveals the tension and surprise on Stalin's face, providing a rare and authentic view of his reactions to one of the first major Soviet defeats in the war. The photo is significant for showing a powerful leader in a moment of vulnerability and deep concern for his country. Photos of Allied soldiers celebrating Christmas during World War II capture moments of camaraderie and temporary relief amid the global conflict. In these images, We often see soldiers gathered in small groups, sharing modest meals and decorating improvised spaces with simple Christmas decorations. These celebrations served as a comforting reminder of life at home and provided a necessary pause in the routine of tension and combat. They also highlight the resilience and humanity of individuals facing extraordinarily challenging circumstances, maintaining traditions that brought a sense of normality and hope. In October 1945, Tulse Hill, London, was the scene of an emotional reunion when gunner Hector Murdoch returned home after World War II. Captured by Japanese forces, Hector endured 3 years in a prisoner of war camp in Singapore, where he faced extreme conditions and nearly died of cholera. The moment he was received by his wife Rosina and his son John, captured in a touching photo, symbolizes the relief and joy of soldiers' return home after years of separation and adversities. This image is a powerful reminder of the human costs of war and the resilience of those who survived, and the suffering of the families who were waiting for their loved ones, and an even worse suffering for those who received the news that they had lost their lives in combat. On August 25, 1943, an American pilot was buried by Japanese Imperial troops. The gesture, although made by the enemy, was marked by respect, as evidenced by the plaque on the tomb that says, "Sleeping here, a brave aerial hero who lost his youth and happiness for his homeland." This event highlights a facet of war rarely seen: mutual recognition of courage and humanity, even among adversaries. The existence of this tomb and its inscription offer a unique perspective on the complexity of human relationships in times of conflict, emphasizing that, even in war, respect for bravery and sacrifice can transcend national and ideological borders. Photo of Major Alison Digby Tatham Warder, a British officer in World War II, who became famous for his unique style of entering battle carrying an umbrella. This peculiarity stood out during Operation Market Garden, when he used his umbrella in an extraordinary way. Tatham Warder disabled a German armored vehicle by inserting the umbrella through the observation slot of the vehicle and poking the driver's eye, incapacitating him. This incident not only demonstrates the audacity and inventiveness of Tatham Warder, but also became a legendary symbol of courage and eccentricity on the battlefield, highlighting how unusual elements can play critical roles in conflict situations. In 1944, after the liberation of Liège, Belgium, a photograph captured a moment of joy and relief between the liberated and their liberators. The image shows a young Belgian woman kissing an American anti-aircraft gunner, symbolizing the gratitude and celebration of the end of the German occupation in the city. This spontaneous gesture of gratitude reflects the profound emotional impact of liberation for the local citizens, in addition to highlighting the human connection that transcends nationalities in times of war. The scene captures the collective euphoria and the feeling of renewed hope, marking the beginning of a new phase for the city and its inhabitants after the expulsion of the Nazi forces from the city. In 1942, pilots of the 8th Bomber Command of the U.S. prepared for critical air missions during World War II, wearing specialized high-altitude equipment. The photographs of the time show these aviators in thick protective clothing, oxygen masks, and flying goggles. These pieces of equipment were essential for surviving and operating efficiently at altitudes where extremely low temperatures and lack of oxygen could be fatal. The images of these pilots not only document the technology and safety measures of wartime aviation, but also highlight the seriousness and danger of bombing missions aimed at hitting strategic enemy targets, essential to the Allied war effort. In 1940, an unexpected situation occurred with British troops in southern England. After a rehearsal for a Christmas charity performance, with no time to change back into their combat uniforms, the soldiers were surprised by the approach of Luftwaffe bombers crossing the English Channel. Quickly, they had to equip themselves with anti-aircraft guns to defend the region. This scene shows the urgency and adaptability of the soldiers, who, even in rehearsal attire, promptly sprang into action to face the imminent threat. This episode highlights both the intensity of the conflict and the spirit of readiness and sacrifice of the military in times of war. A group of Jews, including a child, being escorted from the Warsaw Ghetto by German soldiers. This photograph is not just a window into the horrors of the Holocaust, but also a crucial historical document, part of the SS General Jürgen Stroop's report to his commander. Later, this image was presented as evidence in the Nuremberg war crimes trials in 1945. An Italian woman kisses the hand of a soldier from the 5th U.S. Army after the troops enter Naples during their invasion and advance to northern Italy on October 10, 1943. The Allied invasion of Italy marks a crucial point in World War II, with Allied forces landing in southern Italy and advancing north, freeing the country from occupation. A touching and heroic photo from D-Day, June 6, 1944, a day that remains engraved in the memory of humanity as a crucial turning point in World War II. The photograph in question captures members of an American landing group in the act of assisting comrades whose landing crafts were sunk by enemy action on the coast of France, specifically on Omaha Beach. July 1943. Troops, weapons, and transport from the Allied forces are brought to firm ground, ready for action, at the beginning of the Allied invasion of the Italian island of Sicily. This is an impactful image that captures a crucial moment in the history of World War II, the start of the Allied invasion of Sicily in July 1943. This operation marked the first major Allied attack against the Axis in Europe, with troops, weapons, and transport being brought to the Italian island, ready for action. The operation was a remarkable logistical feat, involving hundreds of ships and aircraft to transport more than 160,000 Allied soldiers and their equipment to Sicily. A disturbing image that reflects one of the darkest aspects of World War II, a photograph from December 27, 1944, showing a group of young Hitler youth receiving instruction in the use of a machine gun, somewhere in Germany. This event symbolizes the militarization and indoctrination of children in the Nazi regime, reflecting the desperation and dark aspects of the conflict. In the final stages of World War II, Nazi Germany found itself in desperation in the face of the advances of the Allies. In an effort to continue the fight, the regime mobilized all available resources, including children and teenagers. This touching sequence of 3 photographs documents the emotional journey of a 16-year-old German soldier captured by U.S. forces at an unknown location in Germany in 1945. This sequence is a powerful reminder of the dehumanizing effects of war, especially on the young recruits in the final stages of the conflict. In September 1940, during the Battle of Britain, a photograph captured a group of homeless children in a suburb east of London. This somber historical moment reveals the harsh realities of war in civilian life, especially among the youngest. The image highlights both the vulnerability and resilience of children facing the conflict, symbolizing the direct and devastating impact of bombings on daily life. Photo of a wounded U.S. Marine in the first wave of attack on February 19, 1945, during the intense Battle of Iwo Jima. The soldier, visibly exhausted and wounded, rests on an improvised bed made of life jackets inside a U.S. Coast Guard LCVP, landing craft, vehicle personnel. This photo highlights the vital role of the Coast Guard in rescue operations and support during the war. An iconic photograph was captured, showing American soldier Roy Humphrey receiving blood plasma on August 9, 1943, during the campaign in Sicily, Italy. Wounded by shrapnel, Humphrey is attended by PFC Harvey White, who administers the vital treatment amidst the battlefield. The image is a powerful representation of medical care in wartime conditions and highlights the urgency and humanitarian effort to save lives, even under enemy fire. The act of providing blood plasma on the battlefield was a life-saving practice, crucial for treating severely wounded soldiers before they could be transported to a medical facility. Unique and striking photograph that captures together veterans from 4 crucial conflicts in the history of the United States: the American Civil War, the Spanish-American War, World War I, and World War II. This image is like a living time capsule, revealing the evolution of military service and the legacy of courage and sacrifice. This meeting of generations offers a powerful insight into the lasting impacts of conflicts on individual lives and the nation as a whole. In 1933, in Geneva, a photograph captured the moment when Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi propaganda minister, discovered that the photographer was Jewish. His expression visibly changes, reflecting the prejudice and anti-Semitic policy of the Nazi regime. This image evidences the impact of Nazi ideology and the persecution of Jews, highlighting the tension and hostility of the era. The atmosphere changes dramatically when he is informed that Eisenstadt, the man behind the camera, is Jewish. In the chaos of World War I, a soldier uses a flamethrower, a Flammenwerfer, in an unusual way to light his cigarette amid the ruins and destruction. Introduced in this conflict, flamethrowers represented a terrible advancement in warfare, significantly increasing the horror on the battlefields. This act, although bizarre, underlines how, even in the darkest moments, humans seek to maintain some form of normality and humanity. Adolf Hitler in Paris, after the conquest of France in June 1940. This is one of the most emblematic and somber images. France was invaded by German forces in May 1940, and in just 6 weeks, the German Blitzkrieg, a strategy of fast and brutal warfare, led to the French surrender. This event marked the German occupation of France during World War II, profoundly influencing the course of the conflict and world history. After the liberation of France during World War II, a dark period followed, marked by the public humiliation of women accused of horizontal collaboration. This term was used to describe women who, during the occupation, had intimate or sexual relations with German soldiers. In various French towns and villages, these women were subjected to acts of shame and collective reprimand, including having their hair shaved and being publicly exposed. This period highlights the challenges of reconciliation and justice in a newly liberated nation, where the line between victim and collaborator often became blurred. On November 10, 1943, a dramatic incident occurred aboard the USS Enterprise as the aircraft carrier was headed for Macon Island in the South Pacific. A Grumman F-6F Hellcat, operated by WW2, made a forced landing on the deck of the ship. Lieutenant Walter L. Tuning, Jr., without hesitation, climbed up the side of the aircraft to assist the pilot, Ensign Byron M. Johnson, who fortunately escaped without serious injuries. The photograph of this moment captures not only the urgency and danger of the situation, but also the spirit of courage and readiness that characterized the members of the U.S. Navy. This event is a notable example of the dangerous reality of aerial warfare in the Pacific and the solidarity among soldiers in critical moments. On February 23, 1945, one of the most iconic moments of World War II occurred during the Battle of Iwo Jima, when 5 U.S. Marines and 1 sailor raised the American flag atop Mount Suribachi. This powerful image captures the climax of one of the most brutal confrontations in the Pacific, symbolizing conquest and sacrifice. The photograph, taken by Joe Rosenthal, quickly became a symbol of hope and determination for the American people and is often remembered as one of the most emblematic representations of the U.S. war effort. This act not only boosted the morale of the soldiers and the home population, but also immortalized itself as a reminder of the human cost and the courage required in times of conflict.